Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. I believe that all of us have experienced short-term happiness. As for me, it was about achieving goals that I worked hard for, purchasing things that I craved, hanging out with people that I loved, etc. But these things, no matter how happy I became at the time, made me feel empty after getting what I wanted or saying goodbye to people that I was hanging out with at the end of the day. I'm sure some of you can relate to how I was feeling. It's so interesting because I also think that some things are so much fun thinking about them. But when I actually get there, I sometimes felt like, oh, that's kind of disappointing, or it's not as good as I thought I imagined. Especially since I was a social introvert with deep thoughts. I liked communicating with people, but say I got invited to a gathering of friends. I liked imagining myself being there, but once I got there and if it turned out that I couldn't have meaningful conversations with others or couldn't add value to the group, I immediately lost interest and I felt like I didn't even exist in the room or wanted to leave from there as soon as possible. Just like this, I was experiencing different types of short-term happiness and I tried chasing them as much as possible, but I wasn't able to find the fulfillment that I was looking for because there was something that shortly wore off when I got it or achieved it. This got me thinking about what long-term happiness would look like. For instance, I noticed that the things that consistently brought me joy were connecting with like-minded people, learning English, being healthy and working out at the gym, having tasty food and good sleep, etc. Then I was able to click that there were some elements of life that I valued from the bottom of my heart. 1. Covering fundamental human needs such as water, food, and a roof over my head. 2. Physical and mental health. 3. Building relationships with people that I care for and connecting with interesting people who give me new perspectives. 4. Work that I don't feel sad about waking up on every Monday morning. 5. Having time to experience life. Now looking back on it, I believe I was trying to shape my life the way that I hoped for, and I will give you some examples. I felt like there was something missing from me when I went to a junior high school in Japan. So I decided to study abroad and learn English because I knew that was the way for me to learn about different opinions, perspectives, cultures, and lifestyles of others that are not common in Japan. I started working out at the gym at the age of 18 and soon it became a part of my life that I couldn't live without. It also encouraged me to wake up early and go to the gym before work started, which let me establish a good daily routine. I decided to get a job that allows me to work full-time remotely and gives us 3 hours of personal development time every week in Japan, which gave me more time to find and pursue what I want in life. I have strongly stayed connected with my family. I was lucky enough to meet a partner who I respect from the bottom of my heart, and made friends that allow me to be the way I am in Japanese and English. All the things that I decided to pursue in the past were like the dots that I didn't think much of, but now I feel like I have everything that I hoped for in my life, and those dots have been connected and created my long-term happiness. I'm sure all of us have different definitions of long-term happiness that make us feel content. But I came to the realization that those dots that create long-term happiness take a lot of time to come by, and a lot of us start creating limits and compromises as we grow older because we start experiencing reality and failures. Some people might even define it as being smart, not to waste time, or what it means to be grown up. So we try settling for things that are just alright or good enough as we believe those are what we deserve to get. But in my personal experience, I have never felt good when I tried settling for those alright or just good enough things simply because they're the core values of my life. And ever since I came back from New Zealand a few years ago, I have been trying my best to make those important elements of my life as perfect as possible instead of just trying to settle for mediocre things. It may sound a bit ironic, but now I have everything that I hoped that established my long-term happiness. I must admit that I'm not sure how to be in this state of mind because it is literally my first time to consistently be happy for this amount of time. But like I said, things are always changing, and I might lose things that consist of my long-term happiness at any point. But this fact allows me to appreciate what I have built in my life so far and gives me the confidence to build it again, even if I lose it. Also, I will constantly keep looking for things that can be important in my life because I think life would be a bit too empty if I stopped being curious or exploring. Just the other day, one of my colleagues at work asked me what my goals are for next year. And I realized that I didn't have any specific goals that I wanted to achieve, although I would always be a big believer in setting up goals and dreams and achieving them. So I picked up some self-development type books that I used to read, and they talked a lot about how to create good habits, set goals to develop your life further, etc. Although I was not able to identify what my goals are for next year, I thought to myself, the fact that I am able to consider setting up goals or dreams in thinking about how to create good habits or discontinue the bad habits is because I live in a peaceful country and my basic human needs are perfectly met on a daily basis. When I used to read those books, I did not consider something like this because I was only focused on making my life better. However, I just found it interesting to read the same books and discovered a new way of looking at them. As I am writing the script for this video, once again, I noticed how much I love sharing my findings with you on YouTube. So I hope to stay curious, keep learning, and continue to share my experiences from now on because that is who I aspire to be.